Hello and welcome to my channel, The Zionist Slayer. Today's topic is, why is America a curse for the whole world? Let's look at an overview of what this warmongering country has done in the last 70 odd years after the World War II. Let me give you an estimate loss of life and economic costs for the countries impacted by US military intervention and conflicts. Let's start with the first one, Korea. This was 1950 to 1953. Estimated deaths almost 2.5 to 3 million people. Economic loss approximately $67 billion in 1953 dollars, equivalent to around $730 billion in 2023. Next was Vietnam, 1955 to 1975, almost 20 years. Estimated deaths 2 to 3 million people. Vietnamese civilian and soldiers and 58,000 US soldiers. Economic loss, Vietnam suffered an estimated $1.5 trillion in economic damage, including infrastructure destruction and long-term economic impact. Next is Laos and Cambodia. Estimated deaths, Laos 200,000, Cambodia 1.7 to 2 million, including genocide by Khmer Rouge. Economic loss, Laos was almost $2 billion and Cambodia was almost $10 billion. This is due to the conflict and the Khmer Rouge regime. Iraq, it started off well in 1991 and then again it started coming back from 2003 to 2011 and beyond. Estimated deaths, Gulf War 1991, 100,000 to 200,000 Iraqis. In Iraq War 2003 to 2011, 500,000 to 1 million Iraqis. Economic loss, Gulf War almost $232 billion. I'm talking about 1991. In Iraq War, $1.9 trillion in direct costs, with broader economic impact estimated at $3 trillion, almost 3.5 trillion. Afghanistan 2001 till present. Estimated deaths 150,000 to 210,000, including civilians and soldiers. Economic loss, direct economic cost estimates at $2 trillion, including destruction and loss of productivity. Next has to be Libya. This was in 2011. Estimated deaths 30,000 to 50,000. Economic loss estimated $120 billion in immediate economic losses due to conflict and subsequent instability. Next is Syria, 2014 till present. Estimated deaths 500,000. Overall Syrian civil war deaths. Economic losses over $530 billion in economic damages due to the civil war, with US involvement in every single thing as part of the broader conflict. When I say US involvement, it's actually the Zionist, Israeli and US both. Yugoslavia, this was in 1999. Estimated deaths 500 to 2,000. Estimated loss approximately about $60 billion in damages from the NATO bombing campaign. After it's Somalia, 1993, and it's still ongoing. Estimated deaths 500,000 due to the conflict, famine and disease. Economic loss estimated $55 billion in economic losses from ongoing conflict and instability. Next is Panama. This was in year 1989. Estimated deaths 500 to 4,000. Economic losses is estimated $2 billion in economic damage from the US invasion and subsequently instability. These figures highlight both the human and economic toll of conflict involving US military interventions. The economic losses account for immediate damage as well as long-term impacts on infrastructure, productivity and overall economic stability. So, just to summarize the whole thing, whichever country the US has actually gone and interfered with, those countries have never stood their hold. They've got destroyed. And still the people are suffering even after the war has finished 30, 40, 50 years. So everybody should unite and end this warmongering regime of United States of America and Israel, because they both are the same. Let me say this once again, it will always be Palestine, it will never be Israel. Long live Palestine.